Yo, Matt.
It's good, bro.
Yo, bro, I'm running a little late to the show and shit. Fucking woke up a little late, but fucking I should be there in like 10, 15 minutes.
All right, that's cool. Just don't forget to bring your camera.
Bro, I forgot to put that shit on the charger, dog. It's on E.
But nah, it's all good. I got my backup joint.
My fault. Hey, I'll be there. I'll be there.
The voltage is too low. The voltage is too low.
Yo.
Bruh. My fucking car won't start, bro. I'm still at the fucking crib, bro. I'm searching these Uber prices and shit, but this surge price is looking vicious right now, bro. You trying to just come scoop real quick?
No, we're supposed to start in like 10 minutes. There's no way I can scoop right now.
Gotta take Uber.
If you trying to cash out me?
I'm not.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, bro.
All right, bro. Once the DJ get the tunes going, I'm gonna just dip out.
Nah, I bet I'm here though.
Turn on the TV, I see massive stereo. Pick a side, the virus spread like
Oh, latest we ever started.
I'm sharp, bro. I'm sharp, but I know TJ's spinning that shit right now.
Dog.
Nah, bro. Stop
Shit's
playing.
not starting.
Stop playing, bro.
This shit got something to do with you, dog.
Nah,
You
dog,
bad
what
luck,
the fuck
dog.
are you
It's not
talking
your
about,
board. You gonna
bro?
suck me into this?
Nah, bro, that's probably your gas tank.
Early.
what's goody, every
Yo, what it do? What it do? What it do?
these highlights.
It's another Friday. Welcome. You know what I'm saying? How y'all doing this morning? Talk to us in the comments. Brooke, how you doing today, bro?
Doing well, bro.
Yeah, man.
So we quarter century in with it, man.
Hey, it's 25. It's 25.
Yes,
Exactly.
sir.
Quarter century. That's a big fact.
Quarter of the way.
Yeah, that's a big fact. That's
Next
dope.
week will officially be half a year.
Yeah.
Doing this.
Yeah.
Day 26. It's cool.
Yeah.
You know I'll be marking these numbers down.
Nah, you really do, because
Last
I don't
week
even
was
be
Mamba
thinking about
week.
it.
I didn't say
Yeah.
nothing about it, but it was Mamba week last week. Then it was
Oh,
the
Mamba
MJ
week last week, yeah.
Prior, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here we are.
It's crazy. These joys just be, you know what I'm saying, going by. Yeah. How was your week though, bro? How was your week?
It went well. I have no complaints. Got a lot of edits done. Trying to think of something apart. Shot some baseball footage.
I saw that.
Hey,
I saw that on
cool.
What, 2 days ago or so that you posted
yeah,
those pictures?
Unfortunately, I formatted my memory card and I didn't change it to 60 frames per second.
So you couldn't even go as hard as you wanted to.
Yeah, but then I went on to YouTube and things like that, and I'll be honest, I was like, no. You know what? It's still not out of the fray for me to still go cinematic with it. Maybe I just can't go slow mo. Maybe I can't get my slow mo like I'd wanted to, but still got that human blur. So I'm gonna try to work it out. And, try to like be happy for the fact that I did it, but also be like, yo, bro, just since I want to, can we just shoot again?
Can we just do it again?
Me personally,
I be doing that.
Me personally, it's just like I wanted to see how the swings, like the 60 frames.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this could be really cool.
Yeah.
And then the fact when I went to the footage, I was like, yo, it's really clean, but didn't shoot it in 60. I was like, oh, I was like, should have known. But I looked at it too. I was like, okay, so it just means I have to put it together differently. So I mean, in a way, it's kind of like challenged me to do something in a different way. So it's all good. I don't mind.
I hate when I do that, dog.
Yeah, but
I hate when
little things about like that though. Yeah, they are like.
I hate when I'm done with the shoot, or I'm done shooting something or recording something, and I'm like, I should have did it this way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like I knew I should have. I thought I was doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the thing about cameras or like little technical things. It's like sometimes you don't even know that you've like not changed the settings or not used the right settings because once you get used to it, you're used to doing. Dogs, it's very rare that I change my settings because I usually have them at what I want them at. But it's, if you have the off chance where you do something new or you try something different and then you forget to change it back, you know what I'm saying? That shit.
Trying to make sure you take into account for all of your products and shit like that. You're like, yo, I have everything.
Because you're thinking about everything. You're like, do I got my batteries? Do I got my, do I got my lights? Do I got my memory cards? Yeah. And then when you get those, and then you got all those things, and then the littlest thing is the thing that you forget. They always say that shit, dog. Like,
even not formatting my card, I would have had it done. But I was like, you know what? Let me format my card because this is
this is the right thing to do. This is good practice, like you said, dog. That's so crazy. It's like, and I feel like every industry, every trade, every skill thing has that, like, has those little, those little nuances to it that, you know what I'm saying? If you're not checking in on it, it fucks you up. Damn, man. I do want to say before we get even too deep into the show, like, let's just take a moment for DMX, man. We right when we got off last week, we were talking about how he was still I guess in a vegetative state. He hadn't like really passed until maybe like an hour or so when we got offline. Like, it was crazy. Like, we were literally like talking like hope, and then like he was gone by the time we even like got back to our day. But yeah, man, it's sad. It's sad. It's fucked up. Now it's interesting to see though, like, bro, like, I knew he was huge, I knew he was big, but it was really cool to see like how he impacted people, dog. Because like I loved DMX growing up. I never really thought that like my love for him also translated to the fact that like everybody in the world loved, but also like when you're a kid, you usually do gravitate to the people who are those people. You just don't realize that they're those people, right? So like I think about, shout out to my homie Rel, because like he mentioned something that I thought was very true, in the sense of like when we were playing like Little League, all of our almost all of our little war cries and like chants and stuff like that were DMX related, like bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really crazy, whether it's fucking like Rough Riders anthem, fucking Party Up. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? There was a bunch of like joints that were just like, DMX was like it was in our culture. You know what I'm saying? He was like really shaping our culture, making our culture, you know what I'm saying, back then. So it's really cool. It was cool to be reminded of like those types of things, and also realize that other people felt that way too in that time,
And without the advent of social media, right? Because his personality was that larger than life that you just can't like. I just remember growing up, like, he was a figure. Like, he was a whole character.
He was a character. That's the thing. Like, the voice, the dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the middle of verses, like, who be barking in verses. Not even as the ad lib, like as part of the bar. You know what I'm saying?
But I remember too. But there's I've always respected DMX, especially when I was younger, and then I started doing my due diligence, like when I really started falling in love with hip hop around like 05, 06.
Yeah.
Freestyles and just finding out when artists had tracks with each other. I was like, dog, they have a track together.
Yeah.
But they did this 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it. So
hell yeah.
I would love falling into those loops. And then I'll always remember this one. It was a legendary cipher at this table, man. You had Mos Def, you had John Forte, you had Big Pun, Cannabis, DMX, everybody just kicking a cipher, dog. And I was like, yo, this is ill. Cannabis was real. Like, everybody wanted I think everybody wanted DMX to get the little last. It was between DMX and like Pun, but Cannabis, this was during the time he had real beef with Cool J.
Yeah.
Cool J, he's like, nah. I need to just get last.
I got some things to say. I need to be here. I need to be
Yeah,
here.
and deservedly so. He went crazy.
Yeah.
But back to the X though. Yeah, it was crazy to see, I guess, the reception that he had, because of his passing.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thing. It's two sides to it.
Mhm.
It was a beautiful thing. To your point, didn't know like how somebody affected you. You're like, okay, that's really fucking dope that this is universal.
This is universal.
Like,
Yeah.
y'all all felt that. That's amazing. That was really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's really cool.
Yeah.
But also to it, and it's by no fault of DMX, but it's just fucking society too. It's just sometimes I don't know, like people like fiend to be relevant or also have contribution in terms of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
And it's like
let me bring out my DMX picture that I happened to take with him, even though I wasn't a huge fan.
Or just trying to
whatever
do
it is.
diligence in a matter of fucking minutes, or like
Yeah.
within the past year, and then people just you know what I'm saying? Just this crazy outpour. And it's like, look, genuine emotions. I'm never, how do I sound trying to tell people like, yo, if that's how
You don't feel that way. Yeah, no, big facts.
That's crazy. Like, no, not
Big
at all.
facts.
But
Let them feel how they feel.
yeah, exactly. But I just think sometimes people have like crocodile tears, and people just for the sake of their own ego and wanting to be relevant in a conversation have to input certain things, right?
Yeah.
And that's it, but that's not just exclusive to DMX. That's just, I guess, like a condition of society, and because of social media, you're gonna have people that are emboldened to do that.
And it's like I got to do it even more so.
100%.
Now,
Like on the
saying?
Clubhouse, everybody got a fucking DMX room, and it's like, dog, like that's like. We should just go to one room.
Yeah, or two. Let's make it two rooms.
Yeah, there's different cadences and shit.
Yeah.
After a while, it's just
but
like,
you don't need everybody. Every influencer don't need to open up a
it's
DMX
a buzzword.
It's a
buzz. It's a buzzword.
It is
now.
a buzz.
Like, that's what your title's called.
Yeah.
Oh, are they really playing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's weird. But yeah, I mean, all in all, you know what I'm saying? Fucking legend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, bro, it's crazy. Like, and also too, like.
Slipping
when we talk about what's crazy, oh my god, there's so many joints. How's it going down? It's like, what are the dog, you couldn't tell, you could not tell 7-year-old 8-year-old me that fucking What These Bitches Want From A Nigga was the best song ever. Like dog, I was 8 years old, like, let me know, dog. What these bitches want from a nigga? You know what I'm saying? This nigga had banger after banger after banger after banger, and sometimes you forget, man. Sometimes you forget, like, you forget. Like,
I'll tell you one thing that I did find out in through the advent of social media that I didn't actually see in real time, but like always when I see this clip, and you might know what the clip that I'm talking about. It was that Woodstock 99.
Yeah.
That was like, there you go. There's everything we're talking about. There you go. Like, if you want, but the thing is too, with a little caveat, and I guess to his plus, I guess, it was a fucking sea of white people just to show you how expansion, like, yo, bro, it's a big
white people, dog. Yeah, no, 100%. But the thing is, and that's the thing, and that's the thing about like, and that's the thing about thinking about where. That's the thing. I was mentioning about thinking about what's happening in the time that it's happening. The only way you could be a nigga that is double, like, has 2 platinum albums in 1 year is if like you have a humongous white crowd. This is the night, like, it wasn't social media. You had to be on MTV. You had to be on all these stations that was majority owned by white people and had those white fan bases. You know what I'm saying? So like, in order for you to even be humongous like that, it's because you resonate with those people. I mean, even go back to like NWA. Like, NWA had like a hella white fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, they did. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you can really talk about any hip hop artist who was humongous back then. They had a white fan base. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to be that popular back then.
Parents of those children rushing the legislation like, oh,
yeah,
this shit illegal.
Yeah, and that's because of the parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, I don't want my white kids being influenced by, and it's like, you can't help it because it is cool. Like, like, literally kids will tell you what's cool, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell kids what's cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of why and then also the movies, bro. Like I'm looking back, like this nigga was a real act. Not to say he was like a great actor, but this nigga was in Romeo Must Die, Exit Wounds, fucking Belly. You know what I'm saying? This nigga has we just named 5 off the top. I don't even know his whole his whole filmography. They had like 3 joints together, bro. Like it makes no sense. Like
that was a cool little phase.
So, yeah, he had his moment. He had his moment of like, let's just get DMX everywhere we can get him.
Like, and it was a flex at the time. Like DMX was like we have to even think about it. He was one of the biggest artists at the time that could even make that crossover. Like y'all can't do movies.
Yeah.
I'm doing movies.
You think about Nas was in Belly with him. What other movie was in Nas in besides Belly? You don't know. Like I'm not saying he wasn't in any, but I don't know any of them. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z and them, they did the state properties, but that was like they made those. They made those for themselves. You know what I'm saying? DMX was sought after for these movies, you know what I'm saying? So like it's very interesting. I mean, and the fact that he wasn't a great actor, it goes more to show how much of a star he was. It's like we don't care. Just put him on the movie poster, put him in the fucking picture, and like it'll sell tickets. You know what I'm saying? So that was very interesting. So yeah, man, it was really cool to just kind of see the reception and the recognition he was getting. So yeah, shout out to that.
Sure. And then awareness too.
It wasn't everything.
Yo, take care of yourselves, yo.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourselves, man. Because it was due to an OD. So and then
that's kind of the sad part.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You never know what people are going through. Everybody got their own vices and shit like that. So, always be conscious of the shit you do. I mean, even if it's not something that's necessarily good for you, try to think of terms like moderation. Try to keep that shit in mind. And yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? You got one body, one life. So
that's a big fact.
Live it up.
That's a big fact. That's a big fact. And I think, we can move on from that into another thing that's kind of been really being talked about over the last couple of days. We got the NFL draft coming up.
Yeah.
We're already in like mid-April, so it's like I don't know the exact date, but it's probably in the next couple Thursdays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's got to be something like that.
Shout out to the time we went to the draft.
Shout out to that, and shout out to fucking Adam, who we lost last year.
Yo, that's why.
Because he was with us. That was one of those great days, bro. That was back. That was like shout out to Adam, man. That was another. That moment, that like trip.
That draft was. We really did it. Yeah. Because think about it. Like
that was the first time that they did it in that way.
Drafted first overall pick above Mahomes.
Garrett went first. Oh well, no, first quarterback. First quarterback. Yeah, right. Yeah. That was the same draft as Mahomes.
We seen that niggas was born, and then I remember we seen.
We did. Yeah. When Ben Simmons and Embiid was right there. That was really one of the last times, bro, that I was a part of just like let's just go do this and let's just see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that was me. You know what I'm saying? Like that was me when I was like younger, just getting my my fucking feet wet with cameras. I was like, I'll do anything, anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, who wants to get shot? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like niggas just picked up and went to the fucking draft. I think we had heard like the day before.
Because I remember their draft. I think they were making commentary on it. Like Philly really went all out.
That was the first time they did
no draft experience.
Yeah, that was the first time they did they did a draft experience like that, where they invited fans. It was outdoors. You know what I'm saying? Niggas could literally see everything. Like the draft was happening right there. It was like a concert. You know what I'm saying? But the draft usually had traditionally been in New York, free like within a. You could sit wherever. Yeah, stand wherever. Yeah, you could even be on the outskirts and see and hear what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a vibe. But now that it is draft season, there's a real. They're talking about 4 or 5 different quarterbacks that could go in the first round. You know what I'm saying?
Top 10.
Top 10 even. Yeah.
Top 10.
Which is that's crazy.
Yeah, unprecedented for sure.
No, yeah, unprecedented. Is it that all these quarterbacks are that nice, or like they're all top 10 talents, or like the teams that just happen to be in the top 10s or the teams that just a lot of teams need quarterbacks? Or what do you think it is?
Upon scouting and you look at them, sure, like the potential and the skill set of the quarterbacks is not necessarily was being questioned. Right now,
Yeah.
you're really nitpicking because the NFL has transitioned to a point where it is a quarterbacks league.
Mhm.
You're fucking the whole team. What you're starting to see is like your success is really predicated on, do you have, maybe your quarterback might not be the elite of the elite, but do you have a franchise quarterback? Like, is that the dude? Because if that's not the dude and he's a moving part, you cannot really have success. So therefore, you got this big emphasis on these quarterbacks now. And then when you see the Mahomes, you see the Watsons and everything, it's also at the same time, since the emphasis is so high, now they're also saying, yo, what can
I don't want to miss out on a.
Exactly.
Am I gonna miss out on the next Patrick
what
Mahomes?
can you do for real? Like, how are you assessing these defenses, looking at your record, looking at your competition that you've played, right? Because that's one thing that people will hold against Zach Wilson. Like, he's coming out of Brigham Young BYU. You know what I'm saying? He's coming out of there, and then when you look at some of the opponents that they played, you'd be like, you know what I'm saying? That don't measure up to like
NFL
some of the
talent.
Justin Fields played or Mac Jones at Alabama played, or let alone Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence is like consensus first pick. Nobody's really arguing that. You're 34-2, Clemson. You got your, you got it. You got a championship. Like, nigga's a baller. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to your point too, if you ball like that, you're 6'6", you're white, you can get away with statements like, football's not everything.
Football's not everything to me. We're gonna get into that for sure.
And like how you had said, like, people are actually like, oh, that's a good perspective. Like, trust me, 99% of players coming into a league,
you're going to get 8 if you feel like
that.
No, that's a fact.
They don't want to hear that. I'd rather you say, bro, your life is football.
100%.
That's what
and then live that it's either or.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the thing is, to me, bro, is like there's people out there that think that it is everything. I mean, not even that they think it is everything for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is everything for them.
Even to a casual fan, football is everything.
Yeah, even to the casual fans. But like, we're at the age, bro, where we know niggas who've probably fought for NFL contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know like a nigga who was nice in football and you know that they were trying. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of my closest homies were trying to get NFL contracts, and you're literally in a pool of thousands. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Trevor Lawrence is consensus #1 overall. You know what I'm saying? He's that nice. You know what I'm saying? And he's been that nice since high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, he's been that guy.
He stayed.
Yeah, he's been that nice, right? But the thing is, in the NFL, dog, like pick somebody, bro. Like, if you don't care, you will be gone. Like niggas will eat you. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter how much talent you have, bro. Like, there's niggas like Tom Brady is Tom Brady because he over indexes on the other side of it. Like, he cares so much. That's why he's the best quarterback ever, and he was the last quarterback chose.
Seen it too. When you're a quarterback with talent and don't care, you know what that looks like?
You're Jamarcus Russell. You're Dwayne Haskins.
No. I'm not even. Yeah. You're Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler.
That is what you are.
Yeah.
That is like the best. I'm gonna say Jay Cutler because I remember when Jay Cutler came in the league from Vanderbilt. Like, bro, one thing that everybody knows about Jay Cutler, like, bro, nigga has an arm. Yeah. He has an arm. He could fling this shit, and his prospects was really good. Like, even coming into it. He was with the Bears, though. That's why it was gonna, like, it was only after a couple seasons before people got really like,
being
on
a bad team is gonna take you being. That's what I'm saying. Because if you're not on a good team, it's gonna be magnified that you don't. Because you like they're looking for you to change the. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the first quarterback. They're looking for you to be the guy to come and change things. And this nigga's gonna go to the Jaguars probably. You're not going like.
But beat this though. But beat this, and this is kind of like to your point. I mean. The Bears literally had legitimately when Jay Cutler came in, they had the fucking menacing defense. They still had Urlacher at the helm and everything. It was more so like, yo, bro,
we need offense.
It's you.
Yeah.
Like, if you fall through, like if you come through, bro, we could be winning shit.
Yeah. Didn't they win a Super Bowl? That defense, Brian Urlacher.
No,
not with Jay Cutler, but I'm saying Brian Urlacher has won a Super Bowl. Rex Grossman.
They went. That was when Peyton got his first joint.
Yeah.
Colts beat them that joint. That
so they never won a Super Bowl. Brian Urlacher. No, I'm talking about Brian Urlacher era.
No, never got it.
Because they were always
never got
tough,
it.
but like
tough, exactly. That was like when you had the Kyle Orton and you had Rex Grossman and shit. And then
so
Cutler was supposed to be we got Cutler.
Yeah,
and it was crazy how long they even let that shit rock out. It was almost like probably good. He was
there for a long time. Yeah,
and they were just like, yo. Like, look
Wait
at
a
his
second.
face. Look at his fucking
Like,
face. You're like,
Jay Cutler look like a
This
nigga
guy
that don't give a
don't
fuck.
care.
He look like a nigga that don't care about
and when
nothing.
pressers, you talk like he really like, and to his benefit, you
Yeah.
probably like, like, bro. When he don't care like that, you probably don't get worked up too much either.
Yeah,
like, you're just
100%.
like Jay never was the dude that blew his temper or was
100%.
trying to defend himself in the
100%.
pressure. He was just like, "Yo, hey man, hey, I'm trying to win. Like, you know?
I'm
Like,
trying. If y'all don't,
like, if y'all
I'm
believe
trying.
it,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
y'all,
If
you
y'all,
know?
I'm trying as hard as the
Yeah.
guy next to me.
Yeah, so
You know what I'm saying?
and the people really took that, like, people really hate Cutler for that. They
Yeah.
really hate him for
Because
that.
I mean,
Because
but
they're
at
like,
quarterback,
bro,
you gotta
cares?
be
Who
be
cares?
the guy that cares the most. Like,
100%.
first of all, you're the most looked at position. The
Like
game
Brady,
is built. The game
you
is
know
built
that
to
boy
make
cares.
you fucking succeed. You know what I'm saying? You're probably the highest paid person on the team, or one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's kind of your job, your role to be that guy. But look, listen. I'm not saying that you have to be Tom Brady manic or Kobe Bryant manic about it. You don't
Right.
necessarily have to be. It helps. Not even that it helps. Like, it's work. It works. It is what it is.
Living my best life.
Yeah.
I'm with family.
100%. 100%. The thing is, too, though, like, there does have to be some kind of underlying, like, I actually love this and would rather do this than anything else. I'm not saying that that's not what he feels. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nigga was quote, like, the exact quote was like something about, like, you know, he's competitive, but like, it's just not everything to him. There's other things going on in his life that like are bigger, that are as important. You know what I'm saying? And basically the whole thing, to me, I'm like, bro, like, it doesn't. I'm looking at it from like a life perspective. It don't really matter what profession it is. Like, if you don't care as much as the next person, or if you don't even care, if you even for yourself understand that I don't care so much, you're not going to like you're gonna get 8 in the respective terms of like what your profession is. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like, you know, it's a fine line, but I feel like another side to that line, because now here's another perspective. This individual, I'm not going to say doesn't care, but this individual definitely has interest outside of football, but is still excelling at the top level of football, right? And like Aaron Rodgers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying Trevor Lawrence is about to come in here is going to be the next Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
but I'm more so saying, if you're going to say that, as long as you know internally, like, that doesn't detract from your ethic. Like, maybe that's how you feel. Like, you're like, yeah, while y'all see me light it up here in these ranks, the college football ranks and shit like that, that's how I've always felt. Like, that's not, that hasn't deterred from how I go about it, how I prepare, and how I'm trying to. So it's like, in one way, it's like maybe owners and people like that might not want to hear it, but you've already proven so much. It's not about to dissuade where you actually go in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, it's not actually going to change that. So in a way, it's kind of like you're getting a player that's kind of transparent about their shit. And it's like, as long as I feel like I just need a quarterback to understand that you have to be the most responsible player on this team,
Yeah.
like even outside of the team, and
Yeah.
you just have to be a leader of actual men. And
Yeah.
if you could come to your job and do your shit every day, it's like, look, man, if you know how to balance like other shit
things.
working out, by
Yeah.
all means, cool. Like, I'm just more so saying, at the end of the day, people will measure you on your results.
Yeah. So if
you
your
say that
results
and
don't,
then you do
and then
trash,
you're,
then we'll look to
they're gonna
that.
be like, well, bro, you don't
100%.
care. You play like you don't care. Or
Hey,
we know that you don't care. You said you don't care.
Understandably so. Because then
Yeah.
people are like, is he getting
'Cause
the
that's
hours
the
in? Is
thing.
he the first person in? Is he the last person out?
'Cause
Is he them
that's-
little things like that.
That's
know?
the thing that I was thinking about. I don't know how well I was communicating it, but that's kind of the thing that I was more thinking about. Is I don't think it's going to affect where he goes in the draft. I
Right,
feel
right,
like
right.
whoever
I
was
don't
going to
think
pick
you're
him
saying that either.
is going to pick him because,
Right.
like, at this point, you're jaw like invested.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
right.
saying?
And
Like,
he was-
whether
he was
mentally,
the first
financially,
last year, he did.
yeah.
So
It's to me more about like what's going to happen now that you're here, bro. You're going to a team that is going to be trash or going to be trash. They were
Right,
trash last
right,
year.
right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? So like,
right.
you're going to a team where you're probably one of, you know, a bunch of guys who
3
don't
years
care
too
so
late,
much.
man.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
Jags they fucked it up.
Yeah,
Coughlin
yeah.
fucked
They
it
were
up,
they were
man.
it seemed like they were
one
nice a
game
couple
away
years
from the
ago.
bowl. They
Yeah.
was right there.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's so foreign to think. It's
crazy how
it's
fast
crazy.
you could change,
how
man.
fast
a couple
it changes.
players
Yeah,
trade,
a
you know
couple,
what I'm saying?
a couple players
Man.
gone, a couple seasons go by, and
Tom
yeah.
Coughlin, bro. That nigga need
But
to retire.
it-
Just get out of here, bro.
Yeah.
After the Giants, that man should have left.
Yeah.
I hate outdated people that try to.
Well,
literally,
the thing is,
the
Brooke,
thing,
like
bro.
this is what they do. Like
I'm
this nigga's
sharp,
an
I'm
NFLer.
sharp,
Like,
but
what
it's
is he gonna
like-
go and do? You gonna go work at fucking TJ Maxx?
Nigga,
No, like the nigga's gonna try to get
does
another
Jeff Fisher
NFL
have a
job.
in the league? No.
What is he doing?
does
You
not.
think he maybe he
Yeah.
wants one, or maybe he's happy. Maybe he like a Trevor Lawrence. Like, hey, there's
because
other things besides football.
Out of 23 seasons, 16 of them, my man did not go to the playoffs. It was a blessing. He
Mediocre as
even
mediocre
made
could be.
He even made it that far, bro. Like, so
Big
now
facts.
I don't know. I'm just really critical of people that's like, you're trying to enforce a way that you go about things, but you're living off real past accolades, like past accolades. And the reason why we have to even bring it up is because these sports before us are literally shifting the actual culture, the way that works, and the actual players, how they go about shit. Like players, like nowadays, like a player will retire.
Yeah,
a player will hold
it's that fucking.
I don't care.
I think that's what's scary about Trevor Lawrence too. Is like his high school coach came out and said, no, it was either his coach or his dad was like, yeah, like this nigga could walk away from the game tomorrow and be fine.
It'd be fine.
And that's like we saw Andrew Luck do that literally. You know what I'm saying? Like literally.
And you know what's crazy?
So NFL owners, they're probably like, but again, like if you're gonna pick
line.
him, you're probably gonna pick him because
you as an individual, it's best that you are built that way.
Yeah.
Maybe in this time, if you're in this space, this level, you're in this position.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have to voice it.
Maybe don't say that out loud.
No, but at the end of the day, how I truly feel, it is best that you are first, because a lot of these people, this is all they fucking know.
Yeah.
And they really do be worse off afterwards. They really do. Like if you don't have any interest, you haven't been cultivating any type of thing.
And if you're in the NFL,
transition, bro. Like, one thing, this is another thing we could definitely talk about in a future show.
Yeah. Being
somebody that really has no money and just coming into fucking millions. Like you
yeah.
had nothing. Like you're not even accustomed to wealth at all. Wealth.
Yeah.
Damn. What are your habits like? Because this is really what's going to constitute.
I was going to say,
too,
like to that point, to an earlier point where it's like, bro, like, if you've only been playing, like if you're in the NFL, you've probably been preparing to go to the NFL for at least 10 years. You know what I'm saying? 100%. Like you've been playing middle school football, high school football, college football. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then preparing for like the draft, you know, like that whole, like honestly, that whatever your last college year is, and then the moments leading up to being drafted is probably the most work you'll put in towards that goal. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like you're invested. You know what I'm saying? You're invested. And when I say like you're an NFLer, it's like, bro, like once you're there, it's like being in an industry. If you work in retail and you get fired from Forever 21, you're gonna try to go to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Lulu, you're gonna go to another retailer and be like, let me see if I can translate my skills here. In the NFL, it's like, okay, let me go to another NFL position. Let me go to another NFL team. Let me go to another NFL football related thing, right? Going to the money thing, bro, like that's a whole nother, like that's a whole nother thing. Like bro, like and the thing about other professions is you level up in ways where your salary levels up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So you can get accustomed to like what's it like to have a little bit of an increase? What's it like to have a little bit of more expenses but also a little bit more income? When you get millions dropped on you, it is different. It is different, but it also, I think it's 100% on your what your makeup is, bro. Because like you look at a nigga like Kawhi Leonard, like 100%. You know, like this nigga, like from reports and stuff, money don't really like the change in money don't really phase him. I've heard Chad Ochocinco say shit about like how like this nigga just lived like he was broke because he just didn't care. You know,
what we saying with that is, man. And it was really subjective from person to person's infrastructure they got built around.
100%.
Like without that, you know, it's
LeBron.
You can be well, like you could be well off. You know what I'm saying? And even LeBron, in a way, is just kind of like, you know, he built his unit. Like LeBron is a real day winner. Like, who was there? Everybody to hold me accountable. So even if I was
and they're all making, and they're all like doing
my guys. Like literally, whatever I was gonna do, I literally like didn't do it because I consulted like my men. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Like,
but even to have, I feel like even to like, well, because like, you know, you might have the next man who's like, well, I don't gotta ask nobody. I don't gotta consult with nobody. This is my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Example, right? People do like Josh Gordon. This dude is arguably one of the most talented wide receivers that's ever came into the league. This nigga's only played maybe one full season. Nigga came in the league 2014. To this day, is now what is he trying to do? Trying to get back in the league because of why? Because he got a drug abuse problem.
Yeah.
He's literally had like 5 or 6 suspensions. So,
Yeah.
and you know the NFL is getting a little bit more empathetic with this.
I'm surprised.
The fuck out.
I was about, oh yeah,
bro.
Oh my God.
When we're coming
it's
up,
so I'm
bro,
surprised
this is
that
Mike
he's
Vick
still,
era, bro.
bro.
He would have been gone a long time ago, but
I'm surprised that he's even still like. It's like, bro.
You know
No, don't get me wrong. I love Josh Gordon as an athlete. I'm
Right,
like, bro,
right.
like the nigga's tough. Also, as like a dude who just wants to like smoke weed, it's like, bro, like, do you like you're nice as fuck?
right.
Like it's the rules that don't make sense if you ask me. But also, it's like I like the empathy for like, oh, like come try again.
Right,
it's
right.
like I don't even get it.
Yo.
It's like I don't even get it. I feel like we kind of half saw that with Ricky Williams a little bit, but like Josh Gordon. I mean, no, but Ricky Williams stepped away. Ricky Williams was like, actually, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? He's like, actually, really don't care.
He really did step away and came back and
Yeah.
then ball with the Saints for a little bit.
Yeah, that's
too.
what I'm saying.
Like, yeah.
But he was on some like really, I really don't care. But like
shit
Gordon
not
is
even-
like,
it's not even just
I want to
just the-
be here,
yeah,
but it's like I
really the
can't.
lean. Like that. Like
Oh,
he
the
really
lean?
not. Yeah, he really not like. He really be like relapsing on this shit. The reason why I brought him up was because look, here's a dude too where I'm sure all you thinking of, bro, is this football shit. But I'm sure the football, like even though you get suspended and you fucked up a lot of your potential earnings up, I'm sure you've also gotten paid well too.
Mhm.
Like if you had the mind to maybe just transition from like maybe you should fuck that because it seems like this quest to keep coming back in here
Yeah.
leads you to go ahead inevitably doing that. And this
And
is
then
not, this
that leads to
isn't good
sadness
you
for
at
no
the end of the day.
reason.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
And
it's like you can
you're
do
doing
that
this to
and be
yourself now.
fine.
Now
Yeah,
you're doing it to
you can do
yourself.
that and be in a amongst an environment of people who don't scrutinize you for this. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like literally, you can go excel at something
You
else.
can go
But the
rap.
thing is, like if you are a football player, it's like no, I can't do nothing else.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like not like like the same way you make videos, I play football. You know what I'm
yourself in
saying?
this matrix that you don't even necessarily that kind of leads you towards your vice. And at the end of the day, it's like you just said this is your life at stake. At the end of the day, even though you're trying to get this position, it's your life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, bro, it's a fine line. But I guess back to why we had originally just even brought this shit up, anyways, is just to say that so a statement like that doesn't necessarily affect Trevor Lawrence's draft stock, but an individual like Justin Fields was balled out, you know what I'm saying? Full tenure at Ohio State and leading up to literally the combines was supposed to be the second drafted, but now with Zach Wilson, oh my God, he reads defenses so well. Mac Jones, you know what? He might be the most ready out of the. And then,
he might be. They got so many different ways of describing the same thing.
Trey Lance, he has played the least games at all, so he has the lowest floor, but he has the highest ceiling.
Yeah, the way
shout out to y'all literally gave each
the
one
wordplay
a different thing.
The wordplay is
and
marvelous.
Like, Justin feels like he does a little bit of everything. Like I'm looking at Justin Fields like when I look at the Patriots, I'm like, look. Y'all got Cam. If y'all wanted to transition, Justin Fields is the perfect guy. I'm looking at the Falcons like they're looking at the Falcons like, oh, it's perfect for them to go ahead and get Trey Lance since he's still got to develop. You can still got Matt Ryan. Maybe he could play a season. He could learn a little bit. And then he could go ahead and off trade Matt Ryan. But his contract kind of could be a little hard to get off. But I'm sure in this league, you're gonna get somebody to take Matt Ryan. You're gonna
somebody took what's his name?
Don't say Stafford.
I was gonna say Stafford.
That's the thing. No. The thing is Stafford. I really think even though he hasn't gotten as far as like Ryan in certain things, I literally be like Stafford's situation. What did you want him to do with the Detroit Lions?
No. I'm just saying. But I'm saying like Matt Ryan is talented too, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying he's Matt. I'm just saying like. I thought I was trying to make your point. You know what I'm saying? I know but you're saying Stafford is way better?
I know TJ's watching this right now. TJ's watching this right now. Stafford, I'm not saying he's way better, but he's better. I'm
not saying he's not better.
And I'm not.
I feel like they're in the same class of quarterback. Like if we're talking tiers, I feel like they're in the same tier.
That's the thing. I think now I really think and I know the Falcons line wasn't really up to par either, but I don't know if they in the same tier, like career-wise, bro. There's nothing I can really tell you that can make you think otherwise. But I
Matt
really
Ryan
think
just don't do it for you.
Due to Matt Steve Stafford's, like I've seen, like he leads the league in fourth quarter comebacks his whole career.
I'm a Matt Stafford guy.
I'm saying things like that, and then when Calvin Johnson retired and he still did this thing, I was just like, you know what, Calvin, you never you never had a situation, bro. You never.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt Stafford. I'm like, you never really had a situation. You're in a whole situation, right? You're in a whole situation.
Yeah.
Like now, I'm like, I'm just anxious to see this is the year. We'll see, Matt Stafford. If you're really been that guy, and we just never could really give you that love because it was like the accolades. We need you to win. Like you got Matt Ryan. You know, he got MVP. He got MVP on his belt.
Yeah.
He literally has a fucking half down in the Super Bowl. They're supposed to win. Like, bro, you got as far as the
hanging
third
over
quarter
his
of the
head.
ball about to win this
Yeah.
fucking ball. It will always.
No, yeah, I'm not saying it shouldn't.
25
I'm not saying it
to
shouldn't.
3, bro. It's hard.
That game is
It's
that, and the thing is,
hard. And then the next
you gotta
season, bro,
you gotta seize
y'all
those.
stunk it up. I was like, no. And then this season, I'm like, oh my god, what are y'all doing,
Yeah,
bro?
post
Like,
it's
what are y'all
PTSD.
doing? That should be real.
Yeah, no, it's
That
real.
should be real.
Yeah, we just talked about the Jaguars who were on the
Eagles.
cusp of going to Eagles. Yeah.
Like, man,
Yeah, that
bro,
PTSD
shit's
is
really
real
crazy.
if you don't
shout out to
finish the
franchise for really
deal.
putting together.
But back to the thing about Justin Fields, like it's interesting how like now they're putting this narrative on. They like literally what Trey Lawrence said, Lawrence said, they're putting that on Justin Fields, like as if he said those things. You know what I'm saying? Like they're talking about, like his stock is dropping because motherfuckers don't know if he's like passionate or how passionate he is. That I think there was an NFL executive who said like he doesn't seem like the first in last out kind of guy. He seems like the opposite or something like that. Like, and it's like where'd you get that? Like
say that? Like
niggas have.
You're affecting people's whole livelihoods.
His draft
where they
stock,
go.
you know
Like,
what I'm
why would
saying?
you say that if
But-
you literally had no?
But also, so like motherfuckers are so like literally. I was hearing them talk about this on First Take I think yesterday.
Yeah,
and they were talking about like what?
need to get tested.
Not even first. I said First Take.
The top 10, Stephen A. is like, somebody needs it. There needs to be an investigation if he
Really?
falls out the top 10 because he's like, I just don't get that.
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
was like, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I said First Take, but I meant to say the joint with Skip and Shannon.
What were they say?
So they were talking about it was like, is this undisputed? So like they were like, this has to be a racial thing. They didn't say it has to be, but like that's kind of what they were talking about. Where it's like, bro, like it's very interesting how you can say for one guy, it's like, okay, he balances life and football. That's cool. We like to see that balance, but he's still our consensus number one overall guy, which is cool. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of makes you think, well, like how much do you care about what happens now once he gets here? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like it's not about like leading up to getting here. It's about what niggas do when they're there, bro. Like we put way too much stock on like, oh, like, well, he's got to go top 10 or he is going top 10 and that's good enough. Like who like where you go. Once you're gone, it does not matter. Now it's like, what are you going to do? So it's like, why do we act like we literally act like the draft is a NFL season? It's like, you know, it's like, oh, this person won this part of the. No, you didn't win anything. Now you've been selected. Now you have to go and do the thing that we all think you're going to do based on where we pick you. You know what I'm saying? So
it serves as a fucking a standard that you're either living up to or not meeting.
Look at the off season like thing that they go through with the OT, with the pro days, the combines, all this shit is just shit that leads up to the draft. You could do away with all those things and just watch tape all off season and be like, okay, I'm gonna pick this guy number one. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you're doing all these things against nobody. You're doing it against like. You're not even against anything. You're running against the clock. You're throwing to like receivers who aren't being defended. Like you're literally going through motions, and we're putting so much and people are rising in the draft boards because of the motions that they're going through and the things that they're talking about and things that they're saying or not saying in Justin Fields' case. You know what I'm saying? And then the draft day happens and we're like, oh, like this person won on draft day or lost on draft day. Like draft day is a day, bro, like, or a weekend. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a means to get to the NFL. To now we know who is going to be on this team as we try to win a Super Bowl. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like if we got niggas who don't care to win a Super Bowl, that leads into the question of why draft them. But of course you're not going to, like Trevor Lawrence isn't going anywhere. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? With Justin Fields, it's very interesting because like I was saying with the whole the thing on Undisputed and apparently what they were saying on First Take as well is like it's very interesting how like the white quarterback can say this, the black quarterback can get this put on him. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, I mean, the measuring sticks are in place for us to to nitpick, but people that really do their due diligence, I feel,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm not a scout, but I feel somebody that really puts them in them hours in terms of watching the footage, like that's all I need to see. I really don't need this. A combine is not about
a pro day.
It's not. Like,
Yeah.
I had to see how he acted and see the progression. Like if
Yeah.
they've been here multiple years, then that's what I'm trying to see.
Yeah.
How they progressed, like all like the mechanics and all that type of shit. And then the combine again, like it's a way for, I feel like teams to see exactly who's the best. It looks close, but who is the best? Like trying to get that. But
I think I don't know. That's interesting because
again,
like
to your point, I think you could. I look, man. I think you could do away with a lot of shit. I think you could do away with all the like senior day, all that shit. I think it's pointless. I think it's pointless. But at the end of the day, too, it's like it's so
tradition.
But
so get something out of it. Get something out of it if you got to do it.
So much money in it at this point.
Yeah.
Just in the draft itself.
100%. Yeah.
So much fucking money. We're not even talking about the money that they're gonna get signed to and decide.
Yeah. The event. The event. Like
so,
the sponsors for the event.
So,
the production crews that are there.
To be honest, like, and again, like. I know I'm even accustomed to it growing up with the drafts. I've watched drafts, you know what I'm saying? I've never been opposed to watching drafts and shit like that. But I'm like, the thing in itself, I'm like, it's comical too. I'm like, look, we're just getting people watching people get hired.
Yeah.
Like
big facts. That's what we're doing.
In any job, like, bro, I'm not.
And then the whole and we're evaluating the interview process.
You get a job? Like, can you live stream?
Big facts. Big facts.
The whole in it, like
big facts.
Like so. Nah, because at the end of the day, we're gonna judge you off of how you perform. Whole thing is theatrics, but a lot of shit we do in our society is theatrics. So not to knock it, but
we need the entertainment. That's why it's being televised. You know what I'm saying?
What it is. So all I'd be off. So I was like, hey man, at the end of the day, you got a check, you get drafted. I'm happy for you.
I'm happy for you.
Hey, man,
let's see what happens. Yeah. That's all I was trying to say. Let's see what happens. Next up, we are talking cryptos. We're gonna talk. We're gonna take a quick little commercial break. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be right back.
Right back. What's goody, everybody? This is Brooke Facile, and you are now tuned into Early, the morning podcast, where we talk about a multitude of different topics, where you're bound to hear something that's of interest to you as well. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to It's Nation TV. If you're catching this on Facebook, go ahead and go ahead and comment, engage with us, and you can go ahead and follow me at Brooke Facile, and you can follow my Brody Mek at itsnation.com.
Y'all know I make a lot of podcasts, and every podcast needs a website. Literally, I've tried to put all of my podcasts on one website, It's Nation TV, but I've definitely gotten to a point where I've realized that in order for each podcast to grow individually on its own, each podcast needs its own website. And the easiest way to make a website for your podcast is on podpage.com. Like, literally, it's the easiest way to make a website for your podcast. Like, dog, I'll do it right now. Like, literally. All you got to do is go to podpage.com. You know what I'm saying? If you got your podcast on Apple Podcasts, you literally type the name of your podcast in. You know what I'm saying? You type in the email for your account and boom, it literally, dog, I don't know how it does it. It's magic. It literally pulls up a bunch of different website templates from your podcast. And that's not even the crazy part. What's crazy is all of this is free. They got different tiers. They got a pro tier. They got a basic tier. Then they got the free tier. You know what I'm saying? The pro tier is definitely the way to go if you're taking your podcast seriously. But like with all of the tools that podpage.com gives you, it's well worth the bread. Like well worth the bread that it is. Check the link in the description to get started with podpage.com. It's literally going to be the best thing you've done for your podcast.
People make so much bread off of it, Isaac. I know you're hip. Oh, Podpage. Yeah.
Nah, that's big fact. Shout out to Podpage. You know what I'm saying? Check out the Podpage if you're
ADA. We sure will, bro.
ADA. So we definitely want to get into some of our I know you want to get into altcoins. I've been, I guess everything almost has an altcoin attached to it on the blockchain. You know what I'm saying? That's what it kind of seems like.
Before, me and Mek, we always like to have these pre-meetings in terms of what we're going to talk about. So today, Mek was talking to me about 5 of like crypto projects that I'm really on.
Yeah.
Mek knows me, like, I'm fond of a lot of cryptos. I'm fond of a lot of the major cryptos. But when I'm thinking about investing, a lot of the times I'm also thinking about purchasing power within the actual coin, and I like to be real well invested in a coin, right?
Yeah.
I like to have a good amount of actual tokens.
Yeah.
So when I look at like a Bitcoin or Ethereum myself, I'd probably, and I don't trade too much, but if I'm looking to actually make money on like those type of assets, I'd rather trade as opposed to actually buy them, because it's just how I'm viewing it is, I'd rather have like a whole of the actual crypto, and not to, by no means like you could put Ethereum is running out right now is about what 2370, so you could even put half of Ethereum in, and if that runs, you're making substantial gains. But I like to look at coins that have real promising futures, their technicals in terms of like their team and developments of what they're working on,
and then you like to own that coin,
and then,
or those like coins,
the price point,
and
then those coins, and then I'm going for those coins that are literally at the buck, or at, and the higher price coins that I actually do, I'll use those as my like a stronghold, where it's like, oh, okay, like
because this is going somewhere,
or $1,000, boom, I have no intentions to ever take out of here. Or for example, putting in Ethereum because we fuck with NFT, so it's like I always need Ethereum anyway. So like, let me just have
I'm starting to realize that's something that I'm starting to realize.
We
this is like, dang, like
we should have kept like that curio drop. Like I should have kept just a little, well, not even a little. I should have kept 75% of that in ETH. Just took the other, realized it instead of just taking the whole thing, because what did it do? It rose almost $1,000 after that. Right. So these are the little passive investments right there, where it's like, that's how it could be fruitful for you. But me, I'm looking at projects and like even off of Coinbase as well, and I'll get into some of those, but like a 88 Cardano, or like a XLM, Stellar Lumens, right? I'm focused on these coins, one, because they've been around even since the last bull run. A lot of cryptos have revealed themselves as being pump and dumps, of being bullshit, or just like Lens,
having no
Lens,
kind of like
just they get subsidized into like the bigger company,
into something
like
else,
right? And so, and that's cool. These are developments that are happening.
That's what's gonna happen right now.
Exactly. So like when I'm looking at ADA and I'm looking at what they're doing, they're another platform trying to build their own decentralized apps and whatnot. They're trying to get into the DeFi space. They're trying to have their own smart contract that kind of differs from Ethereum. I'm trying to see.
And you've told me a little bit about them. Are they like a competitor to Ethereum?
So
would you call them like
in pop in like the pop culture terms, people will call it the ETH killer and shit like that. I'm sure Cardano has no. That's not like their intention or how they're coming about it, but your diehards and your real hodlers of the coin will say, why, like many people are saying, why are you using the ETH? Like Cardano, like, so that's what I was asking. Exactly. So it's and it's been around for numerous years. So I'm looking at Cardano when the price point right now, it's crazy, because before this current run that we're on right now, you could have literally already 10 times an investment in Cardano just from the top of the year. You could have bought it at 13 cents, and now it's trading at like what, $1.40 or $1.35 or whatnot. So like even these gains are fucking crazy. Again, hey, none of this shit is financial advice. Me and Mek are just giving opinions,
big facts,
on things that intrigue us. And if it intrigues you the same, you can definitely check it out. So that's what.
And also, I think we're just talking about like things that are projects and protocols that are interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know some of the ones that I have on my list is like, what I'm saying, the ones that I've been paying attention to the most are joints that they're interesting to me because I'm just finding out about them. Like I'm still doing my homework on them, and I'm like, oh, like these things are happening on the blockchain already, when I thought they were like, bro, when I've been invested, whether financially or just like mentally, in the blockchain for years. You know what I'm saying? Since like at least like 2016, you know what I'm saying? And I only say that to say that I remember when I was first coming into it, I was thinking, oh my gosh, like the potential for where these things could go, and like what people are saying should happen on the blockchain and can happen and will happen on the blockchain. As I like kind of like open my eyes up a little bit right now, these things are happening. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them are starting to happen. I remember when, shout out to Phil Nana, like I remember when he told me what Ethereum was, like when Ethereum was like it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing. It was like blockchain was the thing, and blockchain was trading. Bitcoin was the thing, and Bitcoin was trading for like like $2,000 at that point, or was like a Bitcoin was $2,000 at that point. It was that early, and he was telling me about Ethereum and what smart contracts were, and I was like, dog, smart contracts, like this sounds so interesting, and this sounds like the best thing ever.
Right.
And now, like, we're literally watching we're watching its maturation happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, back then when he was telling me about it, I was envisioning what it could mean. You know what I'm saying? Now that we're fucking with NFTs, like, this is exactly what it is. And it's like, damn, as it was unfolding, I didn't realize it was unfolding, because I'm not developing on the blockchain like these niggas are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm kind of seeing it happen from a faraway stance and not from an inside stance. So I don't know. It's like I can step away for a month, come back and be like, oh shit, y'all got the smart contracts done. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all are doing it. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at some of these other protocols, like, I've been crazy into decentralized finance over the last couple of weeks, bro. Like, I think I was telling you about staking and like what people are calling staking and yield farming.
That are particularly
there's literally let me just name one of my companies that I'm really looking into right now. It's this joint called Rari Capital. Have you ever heard of it?
No, I'm not.
So Rari Capital, what they're doing is super interesting. So I'm huge on, like, even the traditional form of investing. I'm really into, like, putting basically robo advisors. Do you understand the concept of how robo advisors work? So robo advisors are basically stockbrokers, but like AI stockbrokers. So like literally they'll just they'll invest. You set what your risk tolerance is, and they do all of the investing for you. You just got to put your money in. You know what I'm saying? And they'll kind of allocate among different funds and different stocks based on what they think is best. But it's like AI. So like they use data, whatever the fuck they use. So I remember I was talking to you about staking last week. Maybe not on the show, but I remember talking to you about it because it was super interesting to me at that time.
Right.
I just really got hip to staking a couple weeks ago. So like over the last couple weeks, I've been really getting into it. And I remember having a conversation with you about like how I was getting on Aave and like all these types of things, because what they're doing is essentially they're giving you high ass yields for, you know, saving your money on that essentially saving your money. But really what it is you're lending it out to people who want to borrow it. The same way how, you know, putting your bank. When you put your money into a bank, you're essentially letting the bank lend it out to other people.
That's when you're actually earning money.
And then they earn money, and then they give you a little bit, and that's what your percentage yield is. But, you know, with traditional banks, it's like 0.1% usually. You know what I'm saying? I think the competitive, like the real national average right now is like 0.05 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like in the crypto space, niggas are giving APYs of like 30%, 40%, 28%. You know what I'm saying? Like stupid numbers if you're coming from the traditional way of saving. So I'm super interested in like all this that's happening. Rari Capital is essentially a robo advisor for your cryptocurrencies. That like if you put like deposit crypto into that platform, they'll search out the places you can get the best APYs, and then they'll move your money accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like I just got hit to that a week ago, but a week prior I just got hit to the point that you can even stake your, you know what I'm saying, that you could even deposit your bread and earn you know what I'm saying, yield on it the same way you could with a savings account. Because like that's I'm very vocal about like that's kind of how I got into, that was my first step into investing, like just looking for high yield savings accounts, because that's what I learned. Like I learned like, okay, if you like the least you could do is put your money into a high yield savings account so that you can at least earn the most you can in your savings. What we traditionally do is just save in our checkings or save in a regular savings account, not like a specifically high yield joint. So so now I'm like, oh, like, so bro, like crypto is really really, this is an investment towards what we really or now we're seeing proof of concept being the currency of the future. You know what I'm saying? Like not even the future of like tomorrow. Like, you know, like let me not talk about the future like it's 2040. We're talking like 2026. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying like motherfuckers are going to be using it like it's dollars, but I'm saying like some of the things that we need to do, like like you said with the tokens, like people are buying tokens because you need to pay these tokens to use these applications. As these applications become more universal and more like, oh, like I need to like think about ETH, like you spend so much ETH minting things, but you need to mint things. You know what I'm saying? Like you need these tokens to do certain things on these platforms, on these with these protocols. So it's like it is valuable to have these things, and these things are worth the transactions in the places that you use them, which is going to be worth something as these things become more widely used. So Rari Capital is like a super joint that I'm interested in. I mentioned Aave. That's a joint that I'm really looking at. But it's also like what these things are doing. Like Aave is another joint that's giving you high, like it's a lending platform. Right. Motherfuckers need like, and when you look at their numbers, like motherfuckers are borrowing and lending on those platforms. Hundreds of millions of dollars being borrowed and lent on these platforms. So they're being used. Like all of this is like all the proof of concept of all these like crypto businesses and companies is really taking shape right now. Like we're seeing that motherfuckers will use these things if they know how to use them or what's being done or why to use them. And we're seeing more and more like it's becoming more understandable. Right. Or you know what I'm saying? Like people are starting to understand a little more. And yeah. So that's like
lining with COVID, right? Kind of expedited everything.
100%.
Expedited all of this shit to the point where now it's not something that people look at crypto as something that's like over the like it's on the horizon. It's more so like, oh damn, we're in this crypto world. We're here now, aren't we? You know what I'm saying? So now it's a matter of trying to like increase the urgency in terms of like how people should be aware, because it's literally integrating itself within society. And a lot of the institutions that we use they're the ones that are actually a little bit late to the party, but are getting into it
which
now.
Is interesting.
Should be the reason for the casual person to be
casual person,
yo, get on it, because it's like it's weird because everybody want to buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin's $50,000, but when it's $5,000, you know the media is like, oh, but this is skeptical. This is $5,000. What is it? But they tell you to buy when it's 50K.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
You know what I'm saying? So like when you see that, you got to start understanding like we kind of even entering a whole nother like financial domain with fucking technology being intertwined within it. And you know, with all of this, I understand how people get intimidated by this, like even though it's nowhere near, you know, rocket science, but people it's not, you know, but I do understand how things just look on the surface of it, and people will act as if, oh, this is not meant for me, or you know, I tried. Like you tried.
It still sounds a little bit like speculation though, or feels like it still feels a little bit like speculation. Like I think if you're a casual person, you can't understand like why digital currency would be needed, or like you can't understand why it matters, why it should matter to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're a regular casual person.
And I'm not trying to, for that individual on your, you know, left to your own devices. It's probably, it's very well, there might very well be like a high chance that you yourself cannot necessarily get into it. But I'm pretty sure that you have an individual.
Well, why can't
in
you?
Your circle. No, not as in I can't. I'm just saying, let's just, you're not interested.
You're not
like,
interested.
I know you, Mac. Like, if there's something like somebody tell you about it, right? But if you're not really interested, because you got some things you really
I got things that I am interested in,
so,
and
like,
then they're going to take up my time.
Do you know how I get interested in shit? Not somebody telling me that's interested.
Having
somebody
to use
that's
it
really
or having to do it.
And is off some in it. Like, yeah, this person told me, but I didn't really think too much. But this person told me, and I was like, I sat him down for a minute, and I was like, what's up? Because you're in the church. So I'm telling those individuals that don't really feel that inclined to like, oh yeah, I see, but
like force it.
Go ahead. There's individuals within your circle, I'm saying, that are in the shits. You should open up a dialogue and open a conversation with them and just try to broaden your perspective. That's all. Like, that's how you get more and more into this. It's like conversation after conversation of broadening your perspective to a point where now you yourself are left by yourself and like, let me go check this shit out. But it's not gonna just happen, because a lot of people cannot find relevance to their life. So it's like, you're just telling me to focus on some shit That's not relevant to me.
Big facts.
And I understand how people like, yeah, why the fuck would you pay attention to something that you feel has no relevance to you?
Yeah.
Right. And it's literally that link.
Yeah.
Once you can make that link, yeah, it is on you. Like it is on you to go get the information. But if not, you're like the same individual that could have been playing like this 2017 and now in 2020, you're like, oh, is this what?
That's what you guys have been talking about.
It's always been this.
Yeah.
There's nothing
But
that
no,
changed. It has always been this. Why did you not make the link before? Because you thought it was something like, oh, I thought it was a scam, or I thought it was too complicated.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't have the money. And when people be like, not had the money, I'm like, bro, I truly get that. But I'm like, you had $10 every like select day.
Yeah.
You had a dub. That's the shit that really goes a long way. Like we looking at Ripple.
But you know what's interesting? No, you're right. You know what's right? You're right. But I think it's interesting. I think I had like a little baby epiphany in this regard, in the sense of I do now look at I'm gonna be honest. I looked at cryptos before as like a money making play, like a money making opportunity.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like people who literally work on Wall Street and they literally make their living off of trading stocks. Like that's kind of what I looked at it as.
Right.
I'll say even up as recently as 2 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm very much like, this is an investment towards my, like, what I believe the future will be, which is a future that runs on the use of digital currencies. You know what I'm saying? And literally, like how I just explained a couple minutes ago, like the things that these tokens are going to be used for are going to be things that are going to be used on a regular basis. So you want to have the currency that allows you to use those things when they're cheap to get, right? And I was listening to, so this guy, Tyler Winklevoss, you know who that is? The dude that co-founded Facebook?
The twins.
Yeah, one of the twins. So like they're humongous right now in the crypto space. Like they were just in Forbes for being like, I think they just became billionaires because of like their crypto portfolio. You know what I'm saying?
I think they were.
They were billionaires.
They just further.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Okay.
They had their own Forbes drop.
Yeah,
like
they did have their own. Yeah, so like,
and,
so they did a whole story about like how they're humongous and they've been very invested in the cryptos and even in the moving forward of it, right? So Winklevoss was talking about. He said something very interesting in the sense of like, we're talking about Bitcoin being what, 60K right now. The potential of what it could be and the way he broke it down made a whole lot of sense. He says like, if it's supposed to be like digital gold and essentially replace what gold is in our like economy, gold has like a value of like something in the trillions. It's got like a value that you can say each piece of it, or like each one of it, equivalent one, the same way we have like one Bitcoin, each like one of it is like 550, it's like 555,000, something like that. Right. So like he's essentially saying that like Bitcoin, if it were to replace gold, it would be like its value would be 555,000 or more. You know what I mean? 100%. So basically the fact that it's trading at 60,000 right now is like, it's like, that just shows like where the potential could go. And ETH is literally supposed to be the most usable, like it's supposed to be the usable version of Bitcoin. So it could be worth even more, right? This is all his speculation of it. And the way he breaks it down makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I was actually like fucking with it. The logic of it, at least, right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, like if this is what it's going to be, it's worth it to just invest in having it. You know what I'm saying? Like invest in having it the same way you invest for your future with your 401k, with your, your Roth IRA or whatever it is, like the thing that you're putting into because you want to protect what you might be able to spend when you're 65 years old and not able to work. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's like. That's what it is. Like, that's how you should be looking. This is not financial. This isn't any financial advice, but like, that's how Mek, that's how I'm looking at, owning these cryptos and these coins and all these things. But again, I'm more interested in doing the due diligence of what these companies do on the blockchain. You know what I'm saying? Like what they're trading at is interesting to me, just on some like how much I'm gonna get of it, or how much I'm going to get out of it at any given time. But and also just to see like, okay, is this joint charting up or charting down over like and like over different periods of time, like what's it doing just trend wise. Those are things that I pay attention to, but I certainly pay attention to, you know, what's this company doing? Like Rari Capital, I'm not invested in Rari Capital at all. I will be, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still doing my due diligence, but like they're interesting. Like what they're doing is super interesting because like I'm into robo advising from the traditional standpoint. To think that, oh, like motherfuckers are already doing this with cryptos. One, that just is, it shows you that like crypto is really here to, it's not even a fad, bro. It's like literally it's an investment. It's a currency. You know what I'm saying? It's a currency. It's like having, if you're a farmer, it's like having crops. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we're all going to be having to do, like, we're looking at it, bro. Like another company that I'm really into is Vive or VV. I don't know really what they're doing, but they're the Ecomi token. Fucking like what they're doing with like VR experiences is crazy to me. I showed you on my phone like how you can step into your little collectible vault. I feel like that's just gonna open up, like that's gonna open up the world that we see with like why people are collecting NFTs in the first place. You know what I'm saying? To have some place to showcase them that's that's a VR experience, and they're like literally working on that. That's why I'm like, oh, like what these motherfuckers are doing is interesting, and I can see it. Like I can see it the same way that I saw like Ether being what Ether was back then, and it's like, oh, like you can't sit on it. You can't sit on this. Like if you see this, you got to go. Like I learned from Gary Vaynerchuk all the time with this, where he always talks about how like he used to see like companies that would be good, but like wouldn't invest in them, or wouldn't, he would just like see it. He'd be like, oh, like I believe in it. And he would even talk about it. And then like, you know what I'm saying? Facebook was the first one that he saw, but he like went all in on, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, sometimes I feel like I have that kind of thing going on, where it's like I'll see what's happening, but I don't go. Some things I do, but some things I don't. And it's like, if you don't, like when you look back on the things that you didn't go on when you saw it, it kind of makes you think like, okay, I got to start doing that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Also, when it doesn't hurt, when there's nothing to lose, like that's kind of how I got into the NFT space in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I was about to say, so like, you know, sometimes you need to see a use case actually playing itself in front of your face to actually really understand the significance, or sometimes to really just validate what you thought it was. Yeah. But sometimes like to actually see it done, you're like, I feel that way towards Centraland or Mana. Like I remember telling people about this you got me. You could have 1,000 times, like it has even entered its bull run for that particular asset, but at this moment you could have already made 1,000% profit plus, you know. And I remember at that time it wasn't the small valuation that made me be like, oh, let me buy Mana. It was like, oh, it's a virtual real estate. That's what I was like, yo, it's virtual real estate. I was like, and I didn't even really fully understand that concept the way
like
I do
what
today.
It was, like what it is, or why it's important.
I was still like, I kept saying, oh, real estate. So like, people that play their games and shit, like that's real estate. Like, is that where I'm going at? That like The Sims, is that it? So
I was thinking like, about how like on 2K you can walk around like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, 100%.
Then I was like, okay, yeah, I can see like that's not going anywhere. Yeah. Like, so I was like, yeah, that's the thing. But then I was like, I know this digital real estate is way more all encompassing than the way I'm thinking about it. So, but now fast forward, I'm like, I see exactly what Decentraland can be. I see how people are buying parcels. I see people designing their whole fucking avatars. I see people probably using even this technology in the future of maybe even merging it with like real estate. Is there a way that, you know, by use of Decentraland, you can
buying houses and things like that?
Galleries, shit like that. So yeah, just all this development that's happened. You know, it's funny too. We can't always let, you know, price indicators be what measures if there's actually progress going in. We're in a bear market, people, for about 3 years. Progression was being made, but the price wouldn't have told you that. But everybody working like these projects that we invest in consist of whole teams that have, you know what I'm saying, like their whole job, like they're clocking in every day to do that shit. One thing that I like, you know, when the team, they don't care about their particular price point. I mean, at a certain point in a certain development, you know, sure, right? But like if you're literally like, we're in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, of like a whole transformational shift. If you're at the beginning of some of these game-changing companies, you're like, bro, we don't give a fuck about this dollar valuation you're giving us on your fucking market today. Like, we're trying to do some big shit. Like, if you asked us what we really thought we think we're $1,000 plus coin.
Yeah, right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we really
Big
think.
facts.
So
Big facts.
this little valuation
And that
in a sense
contrast
doesn't really bother us either way. If you're making money on it, by all means, that's great. And then communities are always built more so off of the potential money that they can build. And then that community becomes like, first people will be raving about it. Then somewhere down the line, it just becomes their community because they've built up such a base. Because one thing I've noticed too with the crypto and Twitter, these social medias and these crypto, man, they're heavily correlated, man. In a bad way, so much so, you know, the bull run a couple of years back, because literally markets were being influenced on timelines, like literal markets. But now, you know, there's no more ICOs and shit like that. It's not as susceptible to manipulation in that way. But
well, how would you explain like the Dogecoin? Because what does Dodge do?
I'm not. Yeah, that's the thing.
I feel like that's only manipulation. I don't know, but like I don't know. Because like what does it even do? Or like what is that?
I could explain Dodge to you because
that's what I'm saying.
This is how I think about things too. Is like, initially things could get manipulated, but that manipulation gets lost very easily once hype enters into markets, right? So like, let's say somebody manipulated it for it to have a jump. That jump is all that somebody needed to actually.
Well, I'm not even saying somebody, because like if we're talking about it happening, because if we're talking about it happening on a timeline or happening, it would have to be a whole group of people in a big group, you know.
Like, so when I talk about crypto and Twitter, all you got to do is $ any fucking coin. That's what I'm talking about. I'm saying any coin you got. There is a timeline of individuals. Like, it ain't one. It's thousands of individuals saying some shit. So if something happens positive within a coin, the fucking global army of whatever coin that is are literally going to be posted.
Yeah.
Then you know what speculators do too? They type in.
They start talking about it too. Yeah.
But what is people saying about TEL?
Yeah.
$. People literally will read the comments and be like, oh, it's going up. Like, is that what's going?
I'm not gonna say I do that, but I do due diligence on coins before I actually buy them.
100%. But not everybody does due diligence. But I'm just saying more so how the information gets out and what people act on. So all you need is a good, like, and I know because this is how I went about it in 2017. All I need is a good 300 confirmations of different accounts, and I'm like, that ain't a bot. That's a human. Like, I'll be like, this might be it. So I'm thinking like, I think I might miss something. And I think Dogecoin is one of those examples where it was like, no, it really fell through. That's why I'm really happy for people. Like, if that was like one of your first investments into crypto and it really turned out, I'm really happy for you. That's awesome. Like, because now if I knew I would have put my money in it, but it's like I wouldn't have believed. Like, I would not believe it. It's today, like I would literally like, yes, like I'm like Doge to $1. Like, I'd literally be like, probably take out like 80% of my shit. I'll be like, yo, I won.
And now I don't care what happens from here.
I won.
And now I don't care what happens.
It's like, but like, I'm not about to let my greed get me back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I could have. No, I literally just racked the fuck up on a coin that didn't even believe. And fuck a long term. We're talking like 3-month hold.
3-month hold.
So with that, I would just forewarn people, don't let your expectations get distorted within this market, because now everybody would think, oh, so everything's supposed to be doing a Dodge. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, deep down in all of our heart of hearts, that's exactly what everybody wants.
We hope that
everybody wants. We hope 100%.
And that's the beauty about crypto. The thing is, so what is crazy about the GameStop thing, because like that's what GameStop is an example of what any cryptocurrency can do. You know what I'm saying? Right. Anyone. Dodge is like a joint of like it's like the GameStop of cryptos. You know what I'm saying? In the sense of like cryptos can do what, you know, like cryptos can, you know, 10x, 20x, 30x, but like what we're talking about, like a stack X in like 3 months, you know what I'm saying, or something, or probably even more than that. I don't know what the exact numbers are.
Like I told you, a band at January 1st would have giving you 38K.
1,000. So that's 38,000 times or something? 38 times? That's crazy.
It was significantly under 1 cent. I didn't even know that. I wasn't. I was like, I thought it was in the. I was like, oh, word. So like when it kept rising and shit, like, oh, Dodge, and I was like, And when I checked it like at 2 cent, 3 cents, I was like, oh, y'all were in it, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, Elon really got niggas hip. Like,
Yeah.
I was like,
That's interesting.
That's
But
dope.
yeah,
That's why I love them coins. I love
Yeah.
them coins because by the time they get to a cent, it's already
already
doubled.
yeah,
Doubled many times over. So now a cent to 2 cent is more than doubling. It's more than doubling. Because you got to invest in
it's like 6 timing or whatever.
Man,
it's like it's crazy.
Man, like the compounding,
but that's
really
the thing.
Like,
that's why. But that's kind of why I say it is a little bit of a gamble in the sense of like when you're picking coins that are that low, it's like you don't know what they're going to do. Like picking coins at that stage.
You're literally speculation.
Honestly.
How could you
literally
be
speculation?
You're not speculation.
Dog, I was telling you about Ave. I had come up on some Ave joints that I didn't even know that I had because I remember that's what I was doing back then. Back then I was just like, let me just put like $10 into this. But like $10, 6 years ago is like, it'll go crazy for you in joints that were trading sub 1 cent. You know what I'm saying? And now like that joint's at like 400 something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's stupid. I've even watched like the way these joints move is crazy. But again, like I'm more thinking about like, yeah, that's cool. Like it's cool, but like it's cool, but it's also looking more towards the like real. I'm thinking of, okay, like, yeah, the sexiness is kind of worn off on me. I'm like, I'm here. Like, this is, I believe in this currency. So like now it's about like investment play. Like it's about like literally putting my building my house, not even putting my flag down, but like now I'm building my house in the digital currency space, because it's like the same way I've protected my future or attempted to protect my future with like my retirement plan. It's like now my retirement plan is going to be cryptocurrency based. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out, because I'm like, this is where we're going.
Shout out Israel Wilson. We've had him
multiple time guest. Yeah, shout out to Iz.
He had said something on the first episode that definitely stuck with me, and it's something that, you know what I'm saying, I'm ingraining this go around with cryptos and all things. Like, who I am naturally, I always want to share information towards people I feel can use it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean and that's the irony. It doesn't mean that these individuals would be interested in it, but I'm literally saying it to you.
It's worth knowing. And I care about you.
It is worth knowing for you.
Yeah.
It's very applicable to you.
Yeah.
But I've also realized that even that in itself takes away from yourself. What I mean is the energy that you even expend to even try to convince or persuade or try to teach individuals that are not aware about this, but you're trying to get them aware because you want them to take advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I remember he said, if I had spent nearly the same time that I spent trying to convince people towards what you just said, staking like my ground with this shit. Like if I literally just said, you know what, bro, you could be on it or not, I don't even care. I'm just so in it.
Big fact.
And I'm not looking for a validator. I'm not looking to tell you. I'm just in it.
Yeah.
But you know I'm in it. But I'm not out here like that. I'm just focused on it, trying to learn the terminology, learning all like what comes with this space, all that shit. And you'd be better off to inevitably help those same people you were trying to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, sometimes there's an order about going things. So I would definitely say, like, yo, make sure you're well positioned to whatever it is that you want. And there's a lot of people playing an educator role. And if this is really what you do, you're passionate about educating, passionate about teaching, you are an advisor, you have your Series 65 or whatever, then by all means, definitely do that. Try to get people on board. But for people that are like aware to it and can see how game changing it can actually be, hey, just make sure that you're getting properly leveraged into it. And hey, as long as you've mentioned some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, we're not going to try to literally, force the water down people's throats. No, I told you the fountain. I told you exactly. I gave you the GPS to locate. That's where it's at. The fountain's over there.
Meet me there. Or don't.
I'm not carpooling. I'm not carpooling. I'm not carpooling.
You can't ride with me.
Meet me there. And we can get hip and exchange ideas, and we can do a bunch of shit over there. But I'm not carpooling, bro, because you're too far away, bro. You're too far. I literally left like a GPS. I left multiple routes.
Yeah.
Multiple routes. So
I
you
left the
choose.
footprints.
This one is longer,
I left
but
the
there's
footprints.
no tolls.
Yeah.
So you want no tolls? Take that way.
Big facts.
I could meet
Shit,
you there.
niggas did leave
Like-
footprints. I was about to say, like, if you go back
Many
to like
times.
many of our early conversations
We
from
were
like
talking
when I
about
was on this podcast,
yeah,
when I
yeah,
would have you on that,
yeah.
and because you were
We were-
probably, I probably
we
had
were
you
talking
on more times than any other one
Yeah,
person.
yeah, we were talking
And we
about-
were, this is what we were talking
I remember
about.
we were-
I want to go back and listen to
Yeah.
those because I remember sending you a
remember.
clip from like 3 months ago when we was
Yeah,
talking
it
about
was
Bitcoin being at like
crazy.
16K or something
Bro,
like that.
it's fucking
That was,
nuts.
it's so crazy how like, bro, life,
Like,
this
we
is
didn't
life.
know, though. Like we didn't know.
This is life. That's what I'm saying, like, because the thing is,
we're like, oh, it's coming
so
up
I don't
again.
even want to
It does
hear
this.
I don't even want to hear what we was talking about on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because like niggas knew, like niggas know. And honestly, bro, like if you're watching this, like, yeah, we're people worth listening to, but like also, like we said, like don't take our advice, like do what you want to do. But like I feel I'm starting to realize, bro, like I be knowing shit. Not even that I be knowing shit, but it's like I can see the trends of like what is worth investing some time and maybe some money into.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just because like
Fully come
you can,
to
yeah.
the trend
And now
you've
it's
been
and
seeing.
again, it's not on some like you should listen to me. It's on some I should listen to myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I should listen to myself more.
There you
You
go.
know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the statement of the episode.
Big facts. Because
Not
I think it's
even
about
that-
time to wrap
It's
up
not-
anyway.
But it's not even that you should listen. I need to just listen to my damn self.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a great advice that everybody should just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Reaffirm, because a lot of the times we don't do that sometimes.
Big facts.
Follow our own fucking advice.
Big
It's
facts.
great advice.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I had fun today. I had fun on this
Yeah, for
episode.
sure,
This was
for sure.
dope. I like the things that we talked about.
For sure.
And if y'all are still here, shout out to y'all. Have a great weekend. Hit us up.
Shout out Zaina,
Subscribe to
amazing
us on It's Nation
Everybody
TV on
do that.
YouTube. What'd you say? Go ahead.
No, you know, my friend just tuned into the show. So
Okay, lit.
give her
Shout out to you.
a shout out. You know, she has amazing art and whatnot.
Okay, what was the page?
Her name's Zaina, but on IG it's Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Literally how
Shout
it
out to
sounds.
him.
She got it. Like, he's probably like, why I can't
Yo,
get,
that's
get my
so
name?
funny. We were just talking about how we're gonna definitely get into film and stuff next
Yeah, for
week.
sure.
I don't think anything Paul Giamatti related because he's not in the Oscars.
definitely-
Written.
yeah.
But
Nah,
like we
but,
always
you know,
talk about
I'm
how he's
definitely
like
going to
one of the
talk about
best
favorite
actors.
and I'm definitely gonna
he's
do it
always one of the
because
he's
definitely
always in
my
our
favorite.
conversation of like
100%.
best actors. We had a very good conversation. I was really thinking about the conversation we had. I think sometime over the weekend when we was talking about like
the
Drew
Beatles.
Barrymore. Yeah, like we were talking about like Drew Barrymore versus like who was the other person that we was trying to say was
She's trying to compare her to Reese, and I said Reese.
no, I didn't
more
say she was
popular.
Reese. We were talking about somebody else.
Yeah,
We were talking about somebody else. I was like,
Drew Barrymore. I was like, Reese Witherspoon's way more popular than her.
yeah.
Right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They came in at the same time. Then I remember you talked about
We were talking about
Julianne
somebody
Moore,
else who
and I
was
like,
being a
Julianne
star.
Moore's respect.
Nah, we
I
wasn't
think-
talking about Julianne
You brought
Moore.
her up.
Nah,
and
I
and
brought
I
up
think she was
Meryl Streep as far as great act because I was talking about like there's star power and then there's like great
Yeah, that's why-
actress.
Yeah, and I was like, and then you asked me what was my definition of great actor, and I was like Meryl, Walla
Yeah,
Davis.
Yeah,
Damn, that's so crazy. Jane Fonda.
yeah.
Fucking what's that name?
We were talking about somebody. Like we got there because we were talking
I
about
swear
somebody
it was
who, and
Julianne Moore.
then I brought.
And I was
Why
like,
would
I was
we be
like,
talking about Julianne
because
Moore?
you're like she. I was like, bro, how is she?
She
A-list?
ate
Like,
in what?
you're
No,
like, she has a
A-list.
and you're like, she has a podcast. She did a podcast.
No,
with
you're
who?
no Drew Barrymore. I'm not talking. Drew.
Drew is the one.
No, yeah, I
Podcast
wasn't
and
not
everything.
Dre,
Okay,
but I wasn't
okay.
talking about Drew Barrymore. I'm saying I brought up Drew
Yeah, I know,
Barrymore
like,
to
yeah,
compare
to
to
the same
somebody
reference,
else,
right.
and I'm trying to
I
think of who
swear
we
it
were
was her.
talking about. But
Who's the one with the podcast though? That you said Kay had a couple episodes with this individual on a podcast.
so we were talking about how Drew Barry. So we were talking about somebody. We were talking about
Right.
somebody who, you were saying was like B-list, and I think saying that she was A-list, or I see her as
Maybe
A-list.
Backtrack a little bit because I know we were talking about Michael
Yeah.
Fassbender. Maybe
We did, but that was we
But
were
that
talking
was
about actresses first. We were
Oh,
talking about
okay.
actresses first before we got into like the men, because then I brought up we brought up Ed Norton. Oh, I asked if Robert Downey Jr. was on the same level as Ed Norton.
Yeah,
And you were like, no.
No, that's like an easy one. Nah. Like when he said,
And I was like, but I think he is. But also, it was because it's not because I love Robert Downey Jr. or nothing. It's because I've seen the different projects that he's done, and I've seen like the range that he's. I've seen the scope of where he's gone, but not the quality of the movies. Not the quality of the movies. Yeah, the nigga's netted, and he's
Norton's got.
Yeah, big facts.
Norton's roles, man.
Yeah,
man.
But then on the women's side, we was talking about, like, I brought up Drew Barrymore to compare to somebody else because I was asking if you thought she was a star just because like she's famous, but she's more famous because like she's got star power. Emma Stone is a great actress, and she's got star power. We were talking about people that got star power, but they're not great actresses. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. So like I would say like Drew Barrymore or we had brought up Reese Witherspoon, but Reese Witherspoon today is a much better actress than she was in like Legally Blonde. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I give Reese A-list too.
Yeah, she an A-lister and she great. You know what I'm saying? But I can't remember who we were talking about because
Nicole Kidman. We said that's A-list. I was like, yeah, Nicole Kidman. Like I put her in that.
Yeah,
A-list.
Yeah, but we're gonna get into the whole movie talk next week. We just had to bring that up because of Paul Giamatti. But yeah, everybody have a great weekend. Let's not even, you know what I'm saying, wrap y'all up much longer. And we'll see y'all next week. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.